Happy New Year 2026. Silver metal is making headlines because of the spread between physical silver, which is traded in Dubai, Tokyo, Shanghai, above $100 an ounce, while in London it continues around $74. The spread between physical silver and paper silver is wide. If everyone holding paper silver wanted to sell, London Metals Exchange would not have enough physical silver to honor. Will they default? Will price of silver be suppressed much longer? Or will paper silver catch up above $100 an ounce? As physical metal available can only be traded at above $100 an ounce. Something similar is happening with gold and palladium metals as well. Western financials in general are increasingly deficient. Trust in traditional financial markets is eroding. Trust in central banks is eroding. And we should expect a year 2026 with an emphasis in holding actual metals or petroleum. Use of silver is necessary for last generation wiring, defense industry. It's a component of cellular telephones. While the People's Republic of China prioritizes use of its refined silver for domestic Chinese industries, resulting in a shortage of refined silver available for export to Western countries. Back in Venezuela, we had a wonderful New Year's Eve. There were more fireworks on Caracas skies than last year. We cherished having averted war against the United States, and we look forward to a prosperous 2026 full of peace, love, and domestic production. Research from La Tabla website suggests that Donald Trump may have alluded to the destruction of a dock at Guajira Peninsula in the Venezuela-Colombian border almost a month ago as the location where a presumed land attack was inflicted by the United States. While the president of Primazol in San Francisco, Zulia, replied to President of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, that his business is legitimate and that he should reverse his harsh, unproved accusations. It is likely that the Venezuelan government is on purpose avoiding addressing latest Donald Trump announcement of a past land attack into Venezuela, as this Guajira Peninsula incident was already several weeks ago. It is just being known on New Year's Day, and de-escalation should be sought. Bella tanker that has been pursued by United States Coast Guard during several weeks has now adopted the Russian Federation flag, and it has been registered in Moscow as a Russian ship. Therefore, Russia has requested the United States to stop pursuing the Russian vessel. It remains to be seen whether United States will comply with Russia's request not to pursue a Russian merchant ship, as such provocations would not be convenient for other security arrangements between United States and Russia regarding Ukraine war or regional conflicts in the Middle East, such as Iran and Israel. January 1st is shared by Sudan, Haiti, and Cuba as their national day. In the case of Haiti, Toussaint Louverture in 1804 was able to expel French colonizers, creating the first African republic in the Caribbean and allowing for abolition of slavery. On January 1st, 1959, Fidel Castro revolutionary forces overthrew Fulgencio Batista's dictatorship, leading to a socialist government that has evolved to this day with controversial measures in health, education, land ownership, and a constant harassment by United States sanctions and blockades. African countries such as Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are requiring United States citizen visitors to provide additional requirements for issuance of visa into these three African countries, which might lead to a general ineligibility criteria for American citizens who will no longer be allowed to visit Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, following the principle of reciprocity, as the United States is making it difficult for citizens of Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali to visit the United States. In retaliation, United States citizens will no longer be able to visit Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Isolation of the United States continues being noticed in further international locations. Iran's protests, likely to have been financed by Israel, are similar to protests we had in Venezuela, which were financed by the Miami diaspora, with help of the Madrid and Bogota diaspora. Radical wealthy sectors of the international community are interested in performing regime change in Iran, just as they have already tried with Venezuela. It doesn't seem likely that any of them would succeed, as military alliance between Iran and Venezuela is strong, while Russia and China are constantly monitoring safety of our new global alliance for military protection of our territories. In Iran, protests already seem to be waning. Many of such protests have turned violent, and those who committed crimes might endure stiff penalties. Protests usually require an influx of foreign funding, which shows hypocrisy of international community who are more than welcome to provide financing for civil wars rather than for genuine humanitarian aid. Venezuela has ample experience in repelling these artificial regime change oriented protests and is likely to provide ample intelligence information to Iran authorities on how to deal with riot instigators. Volodymyr Zelensky, while watching Pokrovsk falling into Russian hands, is suggesting that United States should send American troops into Ukraine. Such a proposal is unlikely to be approved by United States Congress and by a Donald Trump who has consistently asked for an end to Ukraine's war. Volodymyr Zelensky from Ukraine reminds us of Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel or Maria Machado in Venezuela. All of them are warmongering and interested in killing United States soldiers for the benefit of regime change operations, which should not be authorized by United Nations. United States media is suggesting that the Ukrainian drone attack to Putin's residence was fake news, while the Russian Foreign Ministry has asserted to hold proof of such real attack into Putin's residence, and such proof is being sent to United States authorities through proper diplomatic channels. Germany is running out of money. Their industry utterly fails due to lack of Russian gas, while Chancellor Merz has raised debt ceiling to provide unlimited funding to Ukraine, and European Union is on the verge of a financial disaster which could only be solved by looting frozen Russian deposits as they intend to be used for Ukraine's war. Institutionalized robbery of Europeans through frozen funds of Russia is no different than institutionalized robbery of the London Metals Exchange to traders who have paid $74 an ounce for paper silver contracts, and while they request their physical silver to be delivered, it remains to be seen if London Metals Exchange will honor such requests or default. Fine print clauses provide a disclaimer that physical metal delivery is not guaranteed. Just as when Venezuela deposited gold in the Bank of England, return to Venezuela has not been guaranteed either, and United Kingdom once again pirated another country's assets. Chinese army continues circling Taiwan. Military operations are said to be routine at this time of the year. However, it is clear that Taiwan should prepare for peaceful reconciliation with the Chinese motherland, as the international community has long worked along the principle of one China, two systems. United States will try to fight wars in Taiwan, Venezuela, Ukraine, Iran, and might lose them all. Donald Trump's health continues deteriorating. He may no longer walk on a straight line. Recent videos of him for New Year's celebrations at Mar-a-Lago, Florida, reveal an awful zigzag fashion of walking. A suggestion for Venezuelan authorities would be to preserve our physical metal mining and invest not only in extraction industries but also refining industries. Mexican silver mining industry and Mexican silver refining industry are likely to impose stiff export regulations as the national sovereign interest of Mexico is more aligned to positions of countries such as China, Venezuela, or Russia, even though Mexico is still supposed to be a partner of a North American Union that, according to Donald Trump, has never benefited the United States. We shall expect further Venezuelan tankers trying to extract petroleum products out of the Caribbean to adopt Russian flags to diminish risk of United States Coast Guard seizure. Pacific Ocean has not been quiet. A couple of extra boat shootings have occurred on Pacific Ocean waters, and the United States military continues killing presumably innocent fishermen without due process. United States Congress continues monitoring closely situation of boat shootings and allegations of ground operations in Venezuela. Electoral chances of Republicans continue diminishing. A local Iowa state special election was swept by Democratic candidates, while Iowa was supposed to remain as a ruby red state. While Marjorie Taylor Greene provided an extensive New Year's Eve discourse on how Make America Great Again movement of Donald Trump has strongly departed from its original purpose. United States and Europe seem to be engaging in a greater number of problems than what they can solve. Recommendation for Iran, China, Venezuela, and Russia is to resist and continue forming the multipolar world we anxiously need. A right to produce and trade our resources is guaranteed by international law, and whatever country that violates international law, in particular the United States, should increasingly see it difficult to enforce their domestic hegemony pretensions. They don't have the money, they don't have the resources, and their population is fed up of having been lied to. Western civilization is a history of continuous looting and an entrenchment of an over-leveraged banking system to the service of a war industry related to suffering in many countries due to sanctions and blockades. Examples of Venezuela and Cuba demonstrate how resilience over time will prevail.